Yes. Welcome to the Leipzig preview. Big game. Massive game, actually. The nerves kind of haven't settled in yet. I can see people in the chat where the nerves have settled in. How are you feeling, bro? You nervous or
I'm not really nervous. I'm just sort of like looking forward to the game. I'm not nervous as such because, I mean, to be nervous, you've got to for me, I've got to believe that I can win a Champions League. I'm not fully believing that we can win the Champions League the way we're playing. So it's more just a sort of like curious. I'm curious as to what's going to happen tonight. You know what I mean? Because I know this team can go and beat Leipzig if they actually turn up. But I know if they play like they've played in certain games over the last couple of months, I know we'll probably get battered three, can see about 3 or 4 goals. So it's more of sort of like a curiosity thing that I've got here with this game tonight. What City's going to turn up? Is it going to be the City that can perform? A team that can control the game, deal with big pressure moments, which we will face pressure tonight, no doubt about that, going against Leipzig. And will it be a team that can get a result? Or will it be a team that turns up, is slow, poor in possession, no creativity? Obviously, we're missing Kevin De Bruyne. We'll come on to that in a few moments' time. And that kind of just the game sort of just whimpers away from us. So I'm more curious. I'm more curious in this game as to what team is actually going to turn up, man.
Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it? Because that's kind of how this season's been. There's a lot of curiosity because there's no consistency. So it's kind of like, what is Pep going to do this time? What is he going to do this time? What teams are going to run with this week? What team's going to turn up this week? It's a weird one. It's a weird one. ID says squad roulette all season, and basically, yeah, it's Pep roulette. And I don't know how I feel about this Leipzig game. Obviously, they've been in very good form previous to losing to Union Berlin. I think they got back to winning ways with a 3-0 win against Wolfsburg. But obviously they've been absolutely slamming. We've not been slamming. We've been far off that. We've not put a run together for ages. Bro, we get to 3 and then shit the bed every single time. But you could say we're unbeaten run. Like we said that we might be saying that after next week. But I just think now, right? I just said that the nerves aren't kicking in, but now that I think about it and actually deep delve into this is making me nervous already. Because every other English team has shit the bed so far. So far, we're not doing so well. Has every team lost?
Liverpool lost, Chelsea lost.
Yeah, they've all lost. So we're not doing well right now.
We're flying the flag, Brit.
Yeah, we're flying that flag. Best league in the world, you know.
I know.
The best league in the world.
Premier League is ruining European football. What? Are you not seeing what's going on in this competition? Pretty wild.
Yeah, I just think hopefully we can be the one to save it a little bit and beat Leipzig.
Yeah, loads of stuff to get into. We've got the press conference comments. We'll take a look at Leipzig's form and who they've played in the Champions League, and of course give you our starting 11 and score predictions. Before we get into it, make sure you guys have smashed the like button, man. Let's get those likes past 100. We need 25 people to hit the thumbs up button, get those likes past 100. Just helps other fans find the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Big up to the guys at Bet Victor as well for sponsoring today's video. We've linked their recent video in the description and pinned comment there. You can go and check that out. And of course, we'll play a little clip in a little bit so you can have a look at that as well. But let's start off with the press conference comments, because obviously these were a little bit later than normal, obviously with it being Champions League and that. So we've got the comments from Pep Guardiola and the press conference. And of course, it was asked quite a lot about injuries and form and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite a big one, actually. But it's, and Nathan Ake's there as well. So we won't spend too much time on this. Otherwise, we'll be here for time, man, because obviously it's a big one. But we'll start off with Nathan Ake, because he was the one who was in the press conference. And he said, do you mind playing left back? And he said, I want to play as much as possible and contribute. I've been playing more as a left back, but I'm happy to be getting the opportunities. He said it's been okay transitioning to a left back. He said it's been quite clear. The manager explains what he wants, tactics, and doesn't expect me to make 100 runs going forward and score every game. He knows what he wants. You have to learn more, but I've played there before. I've been playing well, and I'm eager to learn more and play more games until the end of the season. He said the first season at Manchester City was a bit difficult. I had injuries and I struggled settling in. But last season, I felt a lot better. This season, automatically, it started to come with games, playing well. A little setback with an injury, but since then, we've kicked on. So, Nathan Ake, there's a little bit more. We'll go into that. But Nathan Ake, pretty standard. And it's no surprise that he's even said himself that Pep Guardiola's not asked him to be bombing forward. That's no surprise whatsoever, that. So,
no, and that can be frustrating at times for us as fans watching it. But we I think we've been pretty neutral about that. The fact that he doesn't really get forward. Yeah, he has got forward, but we say it pretty much every single time, bro. Like when Nathan Ake gets on the left hand side, we just always like we'll see people in the chat and that saying, why is Ake not providing more on the left or like going forward wise? And we just say because that's not his game, innit? Like we've been saying that from the off. So as soon as he started playing that left back role, and hence why we were saying when we had Cancelo that he should come back into the side because he'll offer us more on that left hand side, like offensively rather than defensively. But obviously we don't have that option anymore, and I guess that's why there are some people very much open to Sergio Gomez playing in games because he gives you that offensive thing. But I think it's very funny. Just as a side note, I think it's very clear that Sergio Gomez is fully out of this team. When Bernardo Silva is playing left back,
I agree.
Because if Sergio Gomez was doing enough offensively, he'd get played anyway. Even though if he was shit defensively, like he'd get played like just like Bernardo does. So I think it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that it's just not worked out for Sergio Gomez, but it is what it is. But it's good that Ake is like filling in at left back, and he's happy to fill in left back just because he wants to get the game time, and he's got a lot of game time, and he's been our best defender this season.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. More from Nathan Ake there, and Nathan Ake says every game you have to win. You know what, Man City, you want to win every trophy possible. It's no different in the Champions League. We want to win. It's been a little frustrating at times in the Premier League. You take one step forward and a little one back in terms of results. The play was okay last game, but not the result. But we have to take confidence from that. I don't think there'll be much of playing differently because it's a Champions League. We just have to go forward with the same mentality. He said, I think it's really clear in the Champions League that City want to win this trophy. We've been close, but we've never got it. I think it's obvious we want to win it. Every player wants to win it, and we'll try our best. And finally, on Leipzig, Ake says, we know them quite well from last season. Very tough games, a lot of energy on the counter-attack. They are very fast and very strong. They have good players in Werner and Kunku. And we know that we'll have to be 100%. So, yeah, that's Nathan Ake. Obviously, confident, nice little talk there. Seems in a positive mindset, a positive mode. And for him, he's probably having one of his best seasons ever. You know what I mean? He's been absolutely fantastic this season for us defensively. He's been our best defensive player going. And, yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if he didn't start tonight, to be honest with you.
If you go with the old player on the press conference thing that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work, I'd back him to be starting in this game, especially with the fact that obviously we'll get into this a little bit more, but with Kev being out and stuff like that, I think it kind of reduces the chance of Bernardo Silva playing left back. I think you've got to run Ake there. So it might be a blessing in disguise, to be fair, because we might actually see that flat four at the back. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see what Pep does. I honestly don't put it out of Pep's brain to do something mad. Yeah, no, absolutely. He was then asked about Kevin De Bruyne and Laporte because both of these players did not train, and he said he doesn't know whether they're going to be available for the weekend, but they're not going to be available for the Leipzig game. They are both ill. Which is a shame. So that's the sort of big news coming out of the press conference. Kevin De Bruyne and Laporte, both ill for the game tonight. Both didn't travel to Germany. And it's just a race against time now as to whether they'll be available for the game at the weekend against Bournemouth. So that's a little bit disappointing. He said this, by the way, on that. He says, it is what it is during the season, unfortunately. Kevin De Bruyne didn't feel good right after the game with Forest on Sunday. Yesterday, Aymeric Laporte didn't feel good. It just happens sometimes. So, I mean, maybe I know a lot of people didn't think that Kevin De Bruyne played very well against Forest. Maybe he was carrying some sort of illness. A bit under the weather. I mean, if it was that soon of a turnaround, maybe you'd think he was probably starting it then. So yeah, maybe he did look pissed off all game. So maybe he was carrying something. Like I say, obviously they've not travelled though, which is a massive loss for City. because obviously two massive players. I think I'd have liked to have seen Laporte starting in this game as well, but the fact that we've got Ruben Diaz in there, hopefully that can sort us out a little bit at the back. So I am pretty chill about it. I am pretty chill. Like I say, blessing in disguise as well, because maybe it means that Bernardo has to play midfield, and then Ake can go left back.
Yeah, no, fair. On Leipzig, Pep Guardiola said this. He says, right after the draw, I felt a tough opponent. We know the quality for many years. A culture for young players, recruitment, clear patterns of play, a lot of play in the middle, physicality in German football in transition. They're unstoppable. Many respect for this club and what they've done. Last year with Jesse March and Nkunku, we struggled. Here we lost. Okay, we qualified, but we struggled. Every season they've qualified for the Champions League. I know the quality and it will be tough. We're going to try and make it a good performance and have a good result going back to Manchester. And we all know, obviously, about the Leipzig game last year. It was a crazy game. Obviously, a lot of goals and stuff. And I would be, if I had to say, I think there's going to be goals in this game, man. I just think that both teams are probably, no one's going to sit on the edge of the penalty area, man. I think both teams are going to try and play. And I kind of see, I'll be surprised if there's not over 3 or 4 goals in this. I really just think it could be an open game, and then it's just going to be who's more clinical, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Obviously, last time when we played, I think it was at home actually when it was 6-3, was it?
6-3 it was, yeah.
When Nkunku scored that hat trick. Like, someone just put in the chat a second ago as well. Oh, no, anyone getting prime Monaco vibes off this? And that's the kind of game that in my head I kind of see it going. That sort of we'll just score more than you mentality. Which some people will like that because it means for an exciting game, but some people will not like that. But we do still have 6 defenders in there. I just think, obviously Leipzig smashing it at the moment. I think I 100% see them going for it. They're at home as well. I don't see a situation where they don't just full send.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting game to watch, especially for the neutral. Pep then said this. He says, the Champions League, it's a fantastic tournament. I love it. It's a privilege. I don't know how far we go, but we're here now. Getting through the group is difficult. That's why the dream is to get a good result tomorrow and go through to the quarter-final. I have the feeling, despite what we've done for many years, whatever happens, I'm going to fail. Nothing will ever be enough. That's why I enjoy it. A good meal, good wine, watch Liverpool versus Madrid. Napoli is always a pleasure. And then prepare. He says, if my career finished tomorrow, I'd be more than blessed with what I've done at Barca, Bayern and City. To do what I've done in Europe in such a small amount of time, we want to do our best. In the end, destiny is always written. So Pep Guardiola sort of like, again, just seemed pretty calm. Everyone seemed he seems calm. Ake seemed pretty calm. It's kind of a good sign, really. Don't be too calm, though, I guess.
I mean, it's not going to help anyone being like irate or worried or anything like that, or showing signs of anything, is it? Like, it needs to be calm because nothing's happened yet. We're just going into a game, innit? And hopefully the team's prepared for it. And you'd like to think we are prepared for it.
Yeah. No, spot on. More then from Pep Guardiola. He said on Phil Foden playing in midfield. Pep said he can play there, but still I have the feeling he's so young. Some maturity to read what happens in the middle, because when you play there, many things happen and you have to read what happens to react. He's still so young. The skills, he can do it absolutely. Phil is really good at playing in the pockets, but it's not just that. Sometimes you have to read when the ball is left, right, and when to drop. The thing is with this, right, you can keep saying all this, but Phil Foden will never learn without playing in that midfield role. So if you want Phil Foden to play midfield, you have to play him in midfield. Otherwise, they're never going to learn. That's my issue with it. You keep saying this.
I get that, but at the same time, if in training he's not showing the signs of being able to play in that midfield role, then he ain't going to play it. And I think we've been very unfortunate with our draws in like cup games as well, where he's not really been able to test it out. And I think if City were free floating and actually on winning runs and that, I think he would be able to full send a little few changes. But at this moment in time, I don't think we can even find our best team yet. So I feel like he's playing it safe a little bit until we find a bit of form. But I see the frustration. I'd like to see it more. I stick with what I've said for ages, that I'd like to see it, but Pep, man, Pep just seems like he ain't having it, innit? Like, and that backs that up. Yeah, he don't trust him.
Yeah. He said, the team is, I have the feeling, we won in London versus Arsenal and competed really, really well. Without that, it'd be impossible to achieve it. Last game against Nottingham was highest standards. I love the way we played. We didn't win because it's football. I do not have to answer on what happened in that situation. Today we trained and it's there, but that doesn't mean we'll win in Leipzig, but I have a good feeling. People say because we conceded a goal on the left-hand side because Bernardo's there, but people don't see what we did against Nottingham because Bernardo is there to help us going forward. I'm not stupid to say Bernardo is a left back, but he can do it. One-on-one, he's a good defender. We've done it in the past with Zinchenko and Delph. He loves it, doesn't he? I'd be surprised if Bernardo plays left back tonight. I would. I think tonight's too big of a test, too big of a game to play Bernardo left back. And yeah, not for me. I'd be very shocked if he did that. I think as well, because if they're going to play counter-attacking football, you're going to get a lot of them moments where you've got to decide whether you go in, like push and try and get the interception or stay back. Like, you got to do that a lot when teams counter-attacking, and I think that just calls for a standard defender in Nathan Ake for me. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but I won't be playing Bernardo tonight.
I'd full send Nathan Ake at the back. It makes pure sense to play Nathan Ake, especially like say with Kev being out, you can put Bernardo Silva in midfield and he can still help out like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Calvin Phillips, a lot of talk about Calvin Phillips at the moment and whether he will play more for City. He says, maybe, yeah, I'd love it. But Rodri's playing at an incredible level. Sooner or later, hopefully I can do it. But we are delighted. A fantastic boy. His motives, we love it. Today, with a lot of stats and data in the future, the mood of the dressing room will be the most important thing. And Calvin can help us do this. I just don't get a good vibe off it, mate. I just don't get a good vibe off it.
Like I say, it's
wouldn't
like,
surprise me if he was sold in the summer.
Nah, it wouldn't surprise me if he was sold in the summer, but it is Calvin Phillips September basically. Like the guys had 2 months, less than 2 months at City properly. All his other time at City has been injured, so like I say, I can see him getting sold in the summer because unfortunately that's just the way things work. Like he's been injured for a large part of the season, so he's not at the time that he needed to get into the rhythm of things. Now, there was rumours last week that he has started to pick it up a little bit, get back into it. I guess we'll have to see when he takes his chances and if he takes them chances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Calvin Phillips in the summer, man. It's going to be really interesting to see. Nkunku, Pep Guardiola said, absolutely, he's world class. It's a shame for his injury. He missed the World Cup. We saw him in Manchester last year. I always like to play against the best players in the best sides. Obviously, Nkunku, should be available for tonight. So that's where we're at with that.
No. There's he's failed training.
He's what?
Nkunku's failed training. You say he should be available. There's a massive doubt.
Oh, right, okay.
Apparently yesterday he picked up something.
Picked up another knock or something?
Yeah, he didn't finish training yesterday.
Interesting. Yeah, because I've seen that he was back in training, that he was like on the bench, I think, in the last game or something. That's pretty wild, that, as if he's not going to be available.
So the basically, I think they're doing a last minute
fitness test.
Yeah, last minute fitness test with him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Well, pretty interesting. Obviously, benefits City massively if he's not available because he's so good. He's world class, like Pep Guardiola says. I have absolutely no doubt of that. And that was pretty much it from Pep Guardiola. So yeah, interesting press conference, and it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. But yeah, there we go on the press conference. Should we get into the starting 11 then?
Yeah.
Let's get into the starting 11. In fact, before we do get into the starting 11, guys, big up to the guys at Bet Victor, man. Check out this clip from them, and then we'll come back and we'll give you the starting 11. Let's go.
I think people get confused with the best striker at the moment and like just the best striker in general. I think on form is quite possibly one of the best player in Europe at the moment. Yeah. I don't think there's an argument there. I think no one scored more goals than him since the World Cup break. But to be the best player in the world, that's a little bit different. And I think he's got to do a lot more to be able to, to be alongside some of those names and do it on a consistent basis. But having said that, he's going in the right direction. 4 of his last 5 seasons, he's scored 20 goals plus. And people kind of look at this season like it's the anomaly. Last season was the anomaly when he scored 5 goals. He scores goals all the time, but obviously he's having a really good run this season. His best campaign so far in terms of goals, 24, 8 assists. Plays on the left, plays through the middle. He's added head into his game. He can score inside the box, outside the box. He's got everything in his locker, and it's just a joy to see Marcus Rashford playing football.
Adam McCullough speaking about LB's favourite player in the world, Marcus Rashford. And he's in incredible form at the moment, Rashford. I swear every time, man. Every week I just see Rashford scored. But like I say, they're speaking about that. They speak about a lot of other things as well, whether Liverpool can get in the top 4. That's all on the Last Fan Standing over on their channel, so go check that out. Let them know so he actually sent you in the comments.
Yeah, Rashford is slamming at the moment. He's he's on fire. I agree 100% with Adam. What Adam said, actually, to be fair, I think he's spot on. He's probably the best player in the world right now on current form, but he's not the best player in the world, and he's nowhere near the best player in the world in terms of actual who is the best player in the world.
Yeah, they're different conversations, isn't it? Like?
Yeah, but he's slamming. You can't deny that. So yeah, fair play. And go check out the video. There's a lot more. It's not just about Rashford. Go check it out. There's loads on there about City as well. So go check it out. And smash a like on it and subscribe to the channel. But let's get into the starting 11 then. So goalkeeper Eriksen is highly likely going to start, and we'll whack him in there, man.
I've seen a lot of people say Ortega, but I do think it'll be Eriksen.
Yeah, get Eriksen in there, man. Back four. I'm pretty. In fact, I'm going to do a poll on this one, because for me, the back 4, in my view, should be Walker, Diaz, Akanji, Ake.
Yeah, I agree. That's without a doubt. In fact, it shouldn't even need a poll, because I don't know what other people would run. What are other people going to do? Surely they're not going to put Sergio Gomez in there.
Rico Lewis.
Don't see it.
A lot of people say Rico Lewis. I don't see it either, but a lot of people have said Rico Lewis. I've seen a lot of people say it's too defensive. That defense is too defensive. The build-up play is really poor, which I agree. The build-up play is really poor, but that's where we're at. John Stones is injured. Injured.
But also look at us against Arsenal when we went to that flat back 4. We look decent. So I like it, me. I like it.
Yeah,
and I don't know, a lot of the chat like it as well. Yeah, I think that has to be it, man.
Yeah, I'm getting to send that. So. Yeah, whack them on. Whack them on to get them in there. Midfield.
Akanji would be the right side of centre back, wouldn't he? Oh no, he wouldn't. He'd go to left side of centre back, wouldn't he? Because he played that role at Dortmund.
Yeah. Probably would play on the left, yeah. But I think they're interchangeable. I don't really think it's a big issue. I think they can change. But Depo Doltz there says no Akanji, please. But who do you want then? That's the question.
Who else are you gonna have? You're gonna put Ake in at centre back and then a different full back. Like. I think it has to be a Akanji centre-back.
Yeah, Akanji centre-back for me, man. Let's go into the midfield then. Rodri will obviously start the game. Pep Guardiola's saying he's been playing mint, so he'll get in. Kevin De Bruyne is out, so here's the big question. Do you run a Gundogan and Bernardo midfield, or do you run Phil Foden in the midfield, or do you run Alvarez in that situation as well?
Do you run Calvin Phillips?
Yeah. So this is a big one now. For me, Gundogan has to play. So I think Gundogan plays 100%.
Yeah, Gundogan definitely plays, without a doubt.
So then it's a question of who else plays. I think this is where Paul might be interested.
I think it's Bernardo Silva.
Is that what you do, though?
Yeah, I'd full send Bernardo Silva. I trust in Pep in the fact that Foden ain't ready. So I'd full send Bernardo Silva. I think that's what Pep will do as well. I think he'll full send Bernardo Silva. Like I say, it'd be nice to see Foden in the midfield. We just don't see it enough. And at this moment in time, if Foden's coming on, I'd prefer him to be starting back on the wing again, just to get him game time. The vote's going to be Alvarez. See, it's always a weird one with Alvarez. But a lot of people in that Forest game were crying out for Kev to go off and Alvarez to come on. But I just think it's... I think Gundo Silva is the safest bet. Joseph Lee, why no Ortega? I just don't think he'll run Ortega.
You're just not going to run Ortega.
I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. If Ortega came in, I'd be pretty gassed. I like it when Ortega starts because it's more I like seeing more of him.
Yeah.
Wait, who did someone say? Did someone say Ortega's poor distribution? I don't think Ortega's poor distribution.
I don't think that's poor distribution. It's not as good as Edison, but you
It's
can't
not,
judge him
but
off Edison
yeah.
because Edison's the best in the world.
Best
so
in the world,
everyone's going to have poor distribution compared to Edison. So
He
I
definitely
think
doesn't have poor distribution. But you know what I think people will be looking at? The people looking at that game as when we kept pinging it up to Haaland.
Yeah,
Which definitely seemed like a tactic to long ball it up to Haaland. I think people look at that too much.
Yeah. No, 100%. Well, the poll's gone Bernardo Silva, so whack Bernardo in there. Personally, I wouldn't play Bernardo. I'd play Alvarez or Foden, but we'll go with the chat, and obviously you've gone for it as well. So whack Bernardo in there.
I'm full send Bernardo mode.
And then the front three again picks itself, I guess. I guess people want Foden in there, but I doubt people would. I think people will just go standard.
I think it's Haaland, Mahrez, Grealish.
Yeah, Haaland, Mahrez, Grealish.
I'd like to see more of Phil Foden, but I think it's Haaland, Mahrez, Grealish. Especially since that Foden, that Mahrez got full rested. Got full rested at the weekend. I don't see Phil Foden coming back and playing like that. I think it'd be nice. Do you know what I mean? Because when we seen him playing against Forest, there was a bit of directness about Phil Foden that I liked, and a lot of people mistake that for being selfish. It's not wrong to be direct sometimes, and people have that same thing with Cole Palmer as well. Cole Palmer's quite direct, and people don't like it and call him selfish and that, but they're trying to make things happen. So they lose the ball a lot more because they're trying to go forward with it.
Yeah. No, I agree in this. It's because I think people have become so used to Grealish and Mahrez, who mostly pass, that as soon as a player gets on the ball and takes a player on, it's greed, you know? So,
when they lose it, it's like, oh, greedy. But then it's like, nah, he needs to try it, man.
I know. Jesus, these guys, you know, we'd be glad you're not a Barcelona fan watching Lionel Messi, mate. You know what I mean? He got on a few runs. And Ronaldo.
True.
So, yeah, there we go. I mean, most of the people in the chat, again, 60% of people are saying Foden doesn't get in the team for them in that front three. So there's quite a lot of people that want Phil Foden to play. It's still good 40% of people want Phil Foden to start, but I'm going Grealish and Mahrez, and you are, and so is 60% of the chat, man. So we'll stick with that. We'll run with that. That's pretty easy to pick the team at the moment, which is, I would say, is a bad thing. You want to have you'd like to have a little bit of competition, but we don't really have too much competition at the
consistency would be nice, but we always try kind of pick a similar team, and then we'd never get the consistency in there.
Consistency when the teams are playing well and the players are playing well. You know what I mean? That's what you want in it. But right now we've not got that, and we're just picking players because we kind of have to, you know, because we've not really got anyone else. Look at the defense, for example.
Yeah,
Walker's our only right back. Diaz and Akanji are our only real options at centre back because Laporte and Stones are injured, and Ake has to play left back. Rodri has to play CDM because Calvin Phillips can't get a game. Gundogan and Bernardo are realistically the only serious options you can play for midfield. I mean, the only one really that you could actually say is maybe Foden or Alvarez.
I mean, Rico Lewis could probably throw his name in the hat.
So that's the only disappointing thing. But yeah, I think the team picks itself at the moment. Big up Dopa, by the way, for the 5. Says, I get the back 4 is the way to go for this team, but Pep has run 3-2-4-1, 4 out of the last 5 games. I bet money that we'll do the same today. Probably will, but who would be the inverted player then? Who would be the inverted player? Because I don't want Kyle Walker inverted. Does that mean you're going to have to play Sergio Gomez or Rico Lewis?
You'd have to full send a Rico Lewis driller.
Or Bernardo Silva, of course. You could do
Bernardo Silva left back.
Yeah,
that team is horrible. People don't like this team, man. I back it, me. I back it.
I'm not a massive fan, but
is it our strongest lineup that we've got? No, but do we have our strongest players? No.
No, I mean that's the thing. Like, it's not a great team. But what else do you want us to do? Like, we've not really got anyone else. Our two best ball playing centre backs are both injured. We don't have a left back at this football club, which is still haunting us to this day. Midfield wise, we've not really got too much option.
No options in midfield.
No one wants to run Foden in the middle anywhere, and he's only just come back from injury, and therefore, because he's only just come back from injury, he can't play in the front three. Like, literally, I don't really see many options you can do. The only thing you can really do is say, okay, let's play Bernardo or Gomez or Rico Lewis at left back. That's pretty much all I see.
Yeah, it's a weird one. George, yes, George with a 2 says Ortega's clear. His shot stopping so much better. It's hard to disagree from what we've seen from Ortega. His shot stopping does look incredible. But
I agree.
But Edison gives you that ball playing out for the back.
Yeah,
which is what Pep wants.
Just play. But listen, I'm open to the idea of having Ortega in the cup competitions, even the Champions League, because I do think it's more important to have someone who's better at shot stopping in a cup competition than the league. But in the league, I'd be going Edison every day.
Yeah, like if Ortega starts tonight, I'm buzzing.
Also, let's just also say that look at last night. You can have 2 goalkeepers who are great at keeping the ball out of the net.
Yeah.
Look what happens when the ball comes to their feet. You know?
I mean, to be fair, I'd like to back that Ortega's a little better with his feet, but that's the thing. Both keepers last night shit the bed. So let's not keep this trend going, please. Like last night was like, imagine if that was Edison, people are going sick, but then there's a chance for it tonight to be Edison's turn. So hopefully it's not Edison's turn tonight. I can't be dealing with that.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much the best team I can really think of, and it gives us a solid foundation. You know, defensively we should be solid. Midfield is okay. You know, I mean, it's not the best midfield in the world. It's slow, and there's not a great deal of creativity there. But the game should be open. So I don't think you necessarily need a David Silva, a Kevin De Bruyne in this type of game, because if the game is open,
there should be gaps anyway.
There should be gaps big enough for these players to get the ball through. So hopefully it turns out not to be the worst game in the world not to have Kevin De Bruyne in. That's my positive spin on it. And because again, I'm hoping that Leipzig don't just sit on the edge of the penalty area. Might give a little bit of space for Grealish and Mahrez to do something in. Grealish has had his best games for City when he plays in more open matches. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be an interesting game. Let's see what City team turns up and see if we can get a dub.
Is there a shout for Phil Foden to start over Jack Grealish?
For me, 100% not.
See, I think Grealish has been key to us, Jack, playing. But also, he's played a lot of football. Like a shit ton of football recently.
Yeah, but he's also in good form. And I just think it'd be unwise. I think it'd be seriously unwise to take it. It took him a long time to get to this position of playing well. And in such a big game, I think it would be unwise for me to take him out.
No, I agree. I'm just throwing it out there. I just wanted to see what the consensus was with people. Because a lot of people liked what they've seen from Foden. They want Foden to get back in, but like I say, I'm happy. For people who watch this, you know I'm happy for Jack Grealish to be starting the team. He's been sick recently. I don't think we're gonna be far off for this team. You know, and I say this a lot, and then we always are. But I don't think we'll be far off. The only place that I can see switching is the defence. I can like Dopa said, I could see us potentially running maybe a Rico Lewis so that we could get the invert on. I could potentially see that. But other than that, I think the front three will pick itself. I think the midfield again picks itself.
Yeah, you could even see Akanji dropping out. And Ake Diaz Walker is the back three, and Rico Lewis playing on the right.
Yeah. That wouldn't be out of Pep's realm. No. We've done that before. So like I say, I just think it's the back line where we don't really know what's going on in it. Like it's going to determine a lot, but hopefully it's enough to get the job done. I think it's going to be a crazy game. I think it's been very open, and that worries me a little bit because I always feel like when it's always difficult for us to create chances, as we've seen, but it always seems to be very easy for teams to create chances against us, which worries me a little bit. Because obviously I imagine they'll be quite clinical.
Yeah, no, I agree. There we go then with the team. I pretty much agree with everything. I just dropped Bernardo Silva probably for Foden. That's all I would do if it was me. But everything else I would probably go with. Score predictions then. It's difficult, man. This could be a lot of goals. I mean, the away leg last time, there wasn't a lot of goals, but I don't know what you reckon.
I'm going to say 3-2 City.
3-2 City.
Yeah, I'm going to say, right, we go 3, it goes 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 City, and they score again, and it's a sweaty last 10 minutes.
Okay, for me, I'm going to go...
A lot of goals.
I'm going to go 3-1 City this time.
Ah, nice. Yeah, I like that.
3-1 City. That's on the basis that the game's open and he plays that defense.
Yeah.
If he plays an inverted fullback, then I probably would give them an extra goal. But if he plays that back four, we really shouldn't be conceding that many, really, with that back four. So that's probably possibly one of our most defensive back fours we've got.
Yeah, it is. Is there any possibility that Perona gets on the pitch? For me, I just always have this. I envision the fact that his debut will be against Bristol.
I mean, you say, is there any possibility? I think there is a possibility that he gets on the pitch,
especially with Kev being out.
Yeah, I don't see why it's not a possibility. Well, I don't think he will get on the pitch.
No, I don't think he's not starting 100%, but maybe. I just think it'd be pretty cool, isn't it? Like, do you remember against Spurs, bro? We're losing, and we're just like, please give us Peroni, just something to cheer about.
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully that's not the same thing tonight. Paratosh, yes, with a £3. Yes, Paratosh with £1 and a £2. Says, why do people say we have huge depth? That is like a general myth. Like, the depth. We have good quality in the depth that we do have. I agree with that. However, the depth ain't there. Like, the depth, we don't have a left back.
Yeah.
We can't have depth.
We have no left back. We have one right back, right? I'm not classing Rico Lewis as depth because he's played like 7 games for us this season. He's not depth.
Yeah. We have one competent CDM.
We have one competent CDM. We have 3 midfielders in Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva. 2 of them are possibly leaving at the end of the season, and one of them's 32 and is, maybe slowing down. People might be arguing. And we have 2 strikers. That's good depth, and then we have 2 proper wingers, and then Phil Foden who just floats around. So we don't have good depth.
The only depth that we do have is in centre backs. We have 5 centre backs.
Yeah.
That's the only place you could probably say we got depth.
I say that's probably the best centre back, like 5 in the world.
Yeah, it is mad, and they're all getting a lot of game time this year.
Because they're all getting injured.
Because everyone's getting binned off.
Crazy. Because if you think about it, it should be the other way around, man. It should be like we have five, so no one has to play loads and none of them get injured, and then they all just get injured. It's bizarre. Apart from Ake, big up Clown says expect a 3-2-3-2 with Ake, Diaz, Walker at the back, Bernardo in that double pivot LB role with Rodri, Jack left mid, Gundo centre mid, Mahrez right back mid in the middle, Haaland and Alvarez up together. Yeah, maybe. I did say that I wouldn't surprise me if you went Ake, Diaz, Walker. It really wouldn't surprise me, bro. Dave with a 2 says stay in the tie, get the job done at home. Yeah, I think I like that. That's smart. A standard approach.
Yeah, that's a smart move.
But I don't think that's what we'll do. I think we'll send it. And Oliver with a 2 says I think this is a 2-0 standard driller. Ooh, clean sheet. Clean sheet as well.
Sheet at the Red Bull Arena.
I think if he plays that defense, there is a chance we could get a clean sheet because they shouldn't be conceding that many goals, But it's Leipzig and they're a decent side. Leipzig, by the way, beat Real Madrid in match day 5, 3-2. So they're a decent side, Leipzig. We're going to have to be careful, of course.
Yeah, it's not one that you can just write off and go, yeah, City should win this because, it doesn't work like that. We should have beat Forest. This is a mad game going up. It's a mad game.
Very true. Very true. Well, there you go. We'll be live 1 hour before kickoff, guys, to get you that team news reaction and all the pre-match build-up. It's a massive night of Champions League football for City. All English teams so far have lost the first leg of the Champions League this season in the last 16. Will City break the mold tonight? I mean, even a draw. Every other team's lost.
I know.
Even a draw. And you know what? A draw's not a bad result. As Dave
I'd take a draw,
Take it back to the Etihad and just, win the game and then you go through. So, a draw's not the worst result. You see what happened to Liverpool last night? They went for it. They sent it 2-0 up. They were still sending it and ended up got massively punished. And I think Leipzig will probably play a similar way to that, just try and absorb the pressure and then hit us on the break. I think that's probably what they'll try and do. I think that's the sort of key to getting to beating City.
Yeah, I think I can tell you one thing. If we're 2-0 up, I'm not comfortable. If we're 2-0 up tonight, I'm not comfortable after last night, after seeing Real Madrid turn over Liverpool like that. I can't be having that. M Dopa the 5. Yes, M Dopa, bro. He says, random fact, every time we play Leipzig, someone gets sent off. Hopefully it's their turn. Was the last one Walker? Yeah, is that it? Is that the game where he kicked out?
Yeah, I think it was the dumb moment when he kicked the guy in it.
No way.
Yeah, a bit annoying. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one tonight, man. Hopefully you guys are going to be up for it. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping that City go out there and do the job. You can never really be too certain at the moment what City's going to turn up. But we played well at the weekend. I thought we played well at the weekend. Just didn't finish the game off. Didn't get the goals. Tonight, there should be a little bit more space for City to operate in. But we are down on Kevin De Bruyne. So that's going to be interesting to see as well, man. The poll, let's have a look at the poll. Does Foden start in the front three for you? 52% of people say yes for Phil Foden to start in the front three.
That has shifted, didn't it?
That did shift. Yeah,
that was a big shift.
That's interesting. I wonder who did drop then. Champions League Mahrez or informed Jack Grealish?
That is a shout, actually. That is a shout. Who do people drop, man? Full send right wing Foden. I liked right wing Foden against Forest. I see a few people not, but I don't know. I'm happy with the front three. They tried and trusted, in it.
Yeah, 100%. Buzzing. All right then, guys. We'll be back an hour before kickoff. Join us then for all the pre-match build-up and team news, and we'll see you later. Go check out the Bet Victor video, by the way.
Yeah, in a bit.